No Quinn.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Whoop! Oh, it happened to him too, look. Ah! He got shocked. Lightning struck. You can't see it, the flash, but lightning struck his house and he got shocked in his headphones. Oh, he was still getting electrocuted.
Oh. Oh, that was stupid. Oh. Oh. Oh, what? That's metal.
Oh, come on, Chad, make a run for it. Make a run for it. Give me the item. Give me the item. What the f, bro? Nah, I don't give a f. We're going in, Chad. We're going in. We're going in. We're going in. We're going in.
What the fuck? I can't even read this. Wow. This is fucking retarded.
You know what I think is making a comeback? Like people with hands. Well, I mean, everyone has hands. I mean, hand jobs. Okay, that sounded bad. Jobs with hands. Like jobs where you use your hands, okay? Basically, jobs where you use your hands, like surgery, woodwork, carpenter, plumbing, okay? Yeah.
Okay. Like jobs in general, or okay.
You guys aren't gonna laugh at this one because you're told you're not supposed to.
No, that's not this crowd.
All right, some dude beat the shit out of his girlfriend, right?
Well, you're off to a good start. I don't... You know how to get a crowd. You had them. You had them. You're like, yeah, I can top that.
How else are you supposed to watch the news? Am I really supposed to be going like, oh, for the whole time? Or you can laugh. I mean, it's a choice.
I have to
Like,
go.
how does it help me?
But how? Okay, I want to hear you pull this out.
So my wife was so sad about it that I had to make a joke because I wasn't mature enough to be sad with her.
Right.
So I was going like, what do you think she said? What do you think that last thing
for
she
God's
said, right?
sake.
You know? Yeah, exactly. So she gets all mad, right? So she got really mad.
Why did she marry you? She's lovely. I've met her. She's wonderful.
So then like a week later, my mother-in-law comes over, right? And the fucking story comes on the news. And after the story's over, she goes, I know I shouldn't say this. My wife goes, Mom, don't say it. And she just goes, I wonder what the last thing she said was. And I died laughing. My mother-in-law died laughing, and my wife
Jumped out of the room.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, neither one of us beat her up. So, like, she can't hear us laugh. I'm not happy that happened.
Well,
I don't understand what the fucking news is. It's just like, hey, here's a bunch of shit you can't fix that happened that was horrible. Do you know what my gym?
Wait,
So I was going like, what do you think she said? What do you think that last thing she's mature enough to be sad with her?
Right.
So I was going like, what do you think she said? What do you think that last thing she said, right?
Sake.
You know? Yeah, exactly. So she gets all mad, right?
is it a joke that just he asked her an impossible to answer question and it's just like kind of dark and because the wife told her mom probably the joke was that the mother-in-law asked the same thing. Oh.
The fucking story comes on the news. And after the story's over, she goes, I know I shouldn't say this. My wife goes, Mom, don't say it. And she just goes, I wonder what the last thing she said was. And I died laughing. My mother-in-law died laughing, and my wife jumped out of the room. Yeah, but at the end of the day, neither one of us beat her up.
Okay, I get it. I got it. Oh. Never mind. I get it. Never mind. I get it now. The joke is, what did the girlfriend say to piss off her boyfriend to make a video? Gotcha. Okay. My mind is going in a totally different direction with that. I feel like I've heard, am I crazy? Am I making this up? I feel like I've heard a joke before where like somebody, I don't remember. What is it? Like somebody like dies in a fire, gets electrocuted, and somebody is like, and the joke is like, what is the last thing you think they said? And the answer is like, they're like screaming. What am I, was this a comedian that said this? Is the thing I read? Does anybody have any idea? I thought this was the direction. I was like, but now I get it. Now I understand. You made it click more. Hello?
Hey.
Oh, hi, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, it's the weekend's landed, so pretty good. Yeah, I was going to come on and mention my fundraiser for United 24.
Yeah, go for it. Hit us up.
Yeah, so in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be riding from where I live in Germany, in eastern Germany, to the coast of the Netherlands.
Where do you live in eastern Germany?
In Halle, so it's near Leipzig.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's like 40k away. And it will take me over a mountain range called the Harz. I'm planning to try and do it in 5 days as part of the fundraiser. And actually, it was the end part of a journey. The first time I cycled through Ukraine, I cycled back this way. So, yeah, I also put an article on Pragmatic Papers about my last time I was in Ukraine in 2017. I sent it to you. I think you may have seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we looked at it on stream, actually.
All right, cool. And yeah, some nice pictures of when I was over there. And yeah, it was, I didn't know it'd be my last time. Like, I'm always planning to do more rides, but yeah, I mean, the war happened, so.
What's the total distance you'll be traveling?
It depends on the route I take, so it's going to be somewhere between 600 and 700 kilometers. I'll put all my data onto Strava this time, so yeah, people can watch my pain.
Cool. Okay.
So I'll be staying in a tent most of the way there, unless I get invited to stay at a family home or something. But yeah, that
do you have
tends to
like a giant
happen more.
backpack on, or how do you bring your gear with you?
No, I just put it on top of my head, you know, like they do in Africa with baskets. No, I've got loads of bags on the back of the bike.
Fuck you.
And did I get you? Yeah, cool. Yeah. This time I won't travel my guitar though, but I actually need to take my work laptop, so I'll do some. I'm going to go to my parents after this as well, because they're just a boat journey away. Yeah, it should be exciting. So there's a fundraiser as well on the Pragmatic Paper article if people are interested in donating. And the reason I chose United 24, they're currently raising money for air defense in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. For anti-mining equipment, and a lot of the projects seem to be funding stuff that's actually made in Ukraine, so it's also good for their economy.
Okay.
And I felt like I needed to do something finally, because you know, we as individuals, we complain about our governments, but sometimes there's things we can do, which is, you know, not always easy to find a way to do these things, but in this case, I mean, there are a lot of good charities, not just United 24 being active, and just donating, you know, even a small fund, a small amount to these groups can make a massive difference. Like you know, like Anna's been doing herself as well. So, you know, if we feel like governments aren't doing enough, we can do something ourselves. And yeah, so how are things with you at the moment? And yeah, I mean, it must be quite difficult with the political situation in the US. And yeah, they were going after AOC, right, for deciding to fund the defensive system for Israel.
It was just a dumb vote. Everything about that was dumb. Politics in the US is just fucking retarded right now, and everything is just, I don't know. You know, I'm ready to grab a rifle and go volunteer for Ukraine. I'll just go to the front lines and roll the dice.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. You
there
know,
we go. Trust me to do. Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's just basically like playing Call of Duty, right? So
yeah, it should be the same thing, yeah. Except everybody's a camper, and then you die to some random drone or missile strike. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's no restart button either, which is a bit annoying.
Well, depends on what you believe in, but yeah, I know what you mean.
No, actually, I mean, some of the stuff that goes on in European politics really mirrors, you know, the States. I mean, of course, it goes in cycles, and you know, we had we had Boris Johnson in power in Britain. You know, there's competition for like which idiot can you get to be your leader. But at the moment, I'm going to write an article about this actually for the Pragmatic Papers on the fragmentation of the left in Europe, because it's happened also in Germany, but it's a bit different because it's proportional representation. But the UK is a lot more like the US in terms of we've got to play by the rules, and the popular vote doesn't matter. It's about getting your constituencies. And yeah, in the UK this past week, so the former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn was kicked out of the Labour Party, and now he's forming his own party, and he's starting to attract members of the members of Parliament that are under the Labour Party at the moment towards his party. And I think this is really scary stuff.
Why do you say that?
Because it's just going to divide the vote on the left.
Wait, do they not have like a coalition thing in the UK, or?
Well, so at the moment we have Keir Starmer in the UK, right? So he's Labour leader, and within the Labour Party, there's a lot of factions, and there's a group called Progress. Progress were the faction that Tony Blair's people who were Blairites were members of. And there's another faction called Momentum, and Momentum was the one that got behind Corbyn and really grew when Corbyn was leader. But they're still, nevertheless, they're Labour loyalists, which is the way to do it in a way. I mean, like Hassan is a complete nutcase, right? He just wants to destroy the system. He wants a revolution, which I find sickening, because revolutions never lead to what you want them to want to get to anyway. So he's naive, even if he had.
What about the American Revolution, motherfucker?
Well, that was one of the exceptions, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, it wasn't that successful. You ended up with Donald Trump, so
Well, for now, okay, we're on a better path, I think. All right, maybe.
To speak positively, actually, in the US, you've got some great potential candidates for president in the Democratic Party. I mean, I'm talking about AOC and Newsom, and actually, I think people really need to get behind AOC with what's gone on with these nutcases going after her. Maybe like as kind of more centre-left people would need to, you need to.
No, I think AOC needs to build bridges with other people who are unhinged and fucking insane and want to burn down the rest of the entire United States and our democratic system. I think that's probably the way to go, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then fight it out with. I mean, there's enough guns in the US, right, for a decent civil war.
For sure, absolutely.
That might be the way to go, actually.
Yeah,
and maybe just give the nukes, like you spread them out between the states, and that should even the playing field, I think.
I agree. We all just nuke each other, based.
And that sounds like a Civilization. Have you played Civilization, by the way?
No, never.
You've never been tempted?
Nope.
Cool.
I think I played, what's the name of that one company? People make fun of them for making autistic games. Paradox Games. I played the space one. Is it Stellaris?
Stellaris, yeah. Oh, that's got an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's a bit like. I mean, it's almost like it's an RTS, right? But you can slow it down so much. It's almost turn-based. And how did you find it? Did you get to the end part of the story?
No, I don't think so, because I always play on the hardest difficulty, and then whatever the big disaster is, or the thing, whatever event I roll, always killed me. So fuck that game.
Yeah, exactly. But that's kind of like the end part, yeah. And it's all about allegiances, right? And otherwise you get completely destroyed.
Yeah. But why are you a big Civ player?
It's the first game. I'm a kid from the 90s, 2000s, and my mother got me a computer and with Civ 2. So I guess it's a little bit of nostalgia in there. But I played every game in the series, also Humankind, and it's a lot of fun to play politics in a game like that. But then it ends up with nuclear war usually. Maybe that's like reality as well, but we have yet to see that part. But and then actually I was in a shared flat before. I live with my wife in Halle now. But the flat was a pretty cool place. So I'd had a good abstinence from gaming for a long while, and then they started to network Age of Empires in the flat. So we had each room had a computer playing Age of Empires, and that kind of got me back into it. But one of my housemates, who was also into LOL, into League, and that he would go on some crazy binges.
It's not a good game. Very bad for you.
Yeah, he kind of put me off, But I mean, with the way chat's been talking, it sounds like it's something to get into in 2025. So there's different tiers that you can get into in the competitive scene, right?
For League?
Yeah, for League. How does it work? Like,
No, I think for League they just had like the LCS or whatever. And then outside of that, I don't know if they do any tournaments or whatever. I think they kind of like monopolize the entire thing.
Okay, but like, how is it ranked in the game? Like, is it? Do you get? I mean, you choose your own teams, right?
No, in League you can just either solo queue or duo queue.
Okay, and like, so if you solo queue, you get randomly assigned team members. And is that all abilities, or are the abilities ranked so that you go up tiers and stuff?
All abilities. What do you mean by that?
Okay. Well, like, I played. I mean, this is pretty embarrassing to say. I played World of Tanks for a while.
Have you heard of this game? I feel like I've heard of it. Yeah, but wait, have you ever played like Dota or Heroes of New Earth or?
No, there's World of Tanks was I never really got into this competitive scene. I'm not twitchy enough with these games. In fact, I pissed a lot of people off when I played like World of Tanks because I could be a bit slow in my reactions. But the thing was, it was always randomized in terms of the abilities of people in the game. So you'd get some excellent players in your team.
Oh no, I mean like in most of these games there'll be like matchmaking systems where like similar ranks are playing against similar ranks or whatever, right?
Yeah, well, some games are like that, some games aren't. I mean, I also play BDO, like Black Desert Online. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
And so in the competitive scene in that, like, especially if you're doing practice runs, then you're completely randomized. There's no like rank system for the team that you get, and then you can really piss some people off if you're not good enough.
Sure. Yeah.
So what rank did you get to in the end on League?
Kill yourself. That's Diamond 1. Okay, it's my highest rank.
Yeah, because I heard that it was quite the arc that you went on.
Listen, it was it was a horrible, it was a dark moment in life. Okay, it's just not a good game. Okay.
Okay. So there's no more League in the future, because Kafka was saying that he thought you might be tempted.
No, I'd probably just grind out my Factorio and just AFK my brain. Yeah.
So with the future regarding like the Democrats and stuff, you think it's sorry to bring it back to that if you don't want to talk about it, but I mean there were some positives there as well, right?
Where?
Well, in terms of the Democratic Party in the US.
I guess, yeah. I mean, there are people there. Politics is just mind-numbingly fucking retarded right now in the US. We'll see where things shake out, I guess, in the next year. Maybe. Yeah.
But I mean, it's good to stay. I mean, not stay positive without. I'm a realist myself. Get the impression you might be, but there are a lot of reasons for positivity in regards to the situation. I mean, Trump is also really good at fucking things up for himself. So, I mean, with this whole Epstein thing, it could really backfire on him. So if he keeps playing with fire like this, I think there's a lot of opportunities for the Dems to pounce, and it's just a question of, I mean, like the idiots like Hassan, that's one thing, but there's also a broad church in the Dems, and I mean, going back to the UK situation, one of the problems that's caused it was that Starmer kicked Corbyn out. So Corbyn, it depends where you want to place him in politics, but I mean, you'd probably call him a lefty, but he was still super loyal to the Labour Party, and kicking him out in the end, it's ended up being much more destructive than just letting him be a member of the Labour Party and just basically ignoring him and putting him on the back benches. But sometimes that needs to be done, especially if there's some loyalty there. But I think so long as the centre left of the Dems don't push too many people out, like the AOCs and Sanders, and I'm sure they have supporters that are kind of, the quiet supporters who are sane, to put it frankly.
I mean, like AOC and Sanders are not like super loonies. They just, for some reason, not for some reason, but they attract a lot of like loonies. And a lot of those people are very like politically toxic, I think. Yeah,
but they're pretty loud. But there's also people that aren't loonies that they attract as well, right?
But they also, wait, say that again.
I mean, there are people, there are non-loonies that are also attracted to Sanders. And
Oh yeah,
and
like the
AOC.
majority of the people that like those politicians are probably not lunatics. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I must be. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I must be honest. Like, it's interesting from like our backgrounds, because you came from, you know, center right, I would say, kind of the Bush type position in the early 2000s, and I came from. I probably at some point in my life I would have called myself a socialist. So that's why I kind of I sometimes fight back at when you're using the term kind of broadly, like a socialist, or I mean far left for sure, but some people call themselves socialist are not cases. I wouldn't call myself that anymore, and I'm also politically moved closer to the center anyway. But yeah, I still know people who would call themselves socialists, but they basically mean like a Sanders type politic.
Yeah, but there's
so
like a weird thing that's happened in the past like 5 or 10 years, from my perspective at least, in Europe, where you guys have people. This was true in Sweden and in the UK at least. I don't know, maybe in the rest of your countries. You guys will have like there will be people in Western European countries that will call themselves socialists, but they'll just mean like sock dems. But then now you have people in the U.S. who call themselves sock dems, but they're just pretending and they're actually socialists. I don't know when this switch happened. It was very, very, very strange to me.
Yeah, but like you can use any of these labels to your advantage, or like they use it in a derogatory way. But I mean, it's the same things happening in Europe that we have. We also have our nutcases here.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at. It's not just word games though. The issue is that you have people who are deceptively and cancerously abusing these terms in order to do outright like propaganda for more insidious and anti-liberal ideologies. That's why I don't like to. That's why I have to be like very, very, very clear on what I'm talking about. Like Hassan and all of the people, his ilk in that camp, are like intentionally masquerading as liberals, using terms like sock dem or dem sock, but what they're pushing for is like ML beliefs.
Yeah, it is really scary when you hear what he's said to some audiences, which is kind of stupid in the day and age when these clips can be uploaded, but. And then he comes across as a very moderate voice, and then kind of being embraced by the mainstream. Like they should know better.
Well, nobody does any research. I mean, you saw like they published that one profile of him where they called him like a champion of the liberals or whatever, and they had to change the title. I don't know if more pushback came from their audience or from Hassan's audience, because like he's not a liberal. He's way better than that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he probably fed some of that terminology to them to kind of. You know, he's playing the role of the chameleon, right? He's just trying to fit in with the group that he's talking to. He's very good at not putting forward arguments, but just in terms of glazing and making people feel warm and happy and fuzzy and everything else. You can see him doing that. But he's clearly a wolf in sheep's clothing. But we still have those in Europe as well. I just guess it's. You know, information doesn't transfer over. It's maybe not as interesting or relevant sometimes to the American audience, but we are allies. And what happens in one region, whether it be Europe or what happens in the US, kind of affects each other. From a selfish perspective, we need to kind of support one another. And it's hard to see when this kind of stuff happens. But it's also important, as I said before, we mustn't just fragment every part of the left movement that aren't the cancerous cells of the body, and mistaken them for being cancerous because someone calls themselves socialist or such like. I think that the terms, you know, they get used all over the place, especially the older generation. Like my father would call himself a socialist, but you know he's a really center left, and you know we have this term champagne socialist. Yeah. So I mean he doesn't drink, but yeah, he's one of those effectively. So, which is good. If there's less of these cancerous cells to cut out, it's easier to focus on them, and there's more reasons to be positive. I think it's a lot of these sock dems, as you would call them. They're going to be a good part of the movement. They should be listened to. I'm sure some of their policies, it could be reflected on and. Yeah, hopefully it gets more towards a policy discussion rather than a discussion of labels at some point. And there's some great candidates there, right? I mean, you got a bit of a pick in terms of for the next presidential candidate.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be like 3 years from now, so who knows? We'll see. We got to get through midterms first.
Yeah, exactly. And and that could also really change things if you can get the Senate.
I don't know if that's even possible, but we'll see.
Yeah, Well, yeah. Anyway, thanks for having me on. And yeah, if anyone's interested on Pragmatic Papers, you can check out my fundraiser.
All right.
And yeah, and maybe at some point I'll bring up some of my policy positions that are a little bit different to yours, and yeah, see what you think of them. But yeah, good. Yeah, good luck. Yeah.
Well, everybody, be careful.
Take care, man. Bye.
Hello.
I'm looking for a Darius Thomas Ellis.
That's
Is he here?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Cool. You're not in trouble.
Okay.
I just got some paperwork for you.
Okay. I'm like, okay, sorry. What's up?
Didn't mean to scare you. I knocked on the door and then I heard it open. So
It's okay.
you know what this is? You know what this is about?
I'm guessing.
What do you got? Let's see what your guess is, and I'll tell you if you're right.
It's about my ex
Probably.
girlfriend.
Yeah, protective order.
Sounds like
So you got a hearing.
situation.
Yeah. So on this, it's an application for protective order. All right. You got a hearing. Court date information right here for you. 1700 Quad, July 30th, 2025, 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
Cool. Everything inside of a temporary ex parte order, you're now responsible for. Do not contact, stay away, all this stuff that's listed in here. If
Okay.
you do have any firearms, state of Texas, we assume everyone does. You need to surrender the firearms based on a policy with Travis County Sheriff's Department.
Damn. Really?
More of it as well.
I feel that in the city as well. Like I feel like there is a camaraderie and there is pushback. Did you watch South Park last night? That was like so satisfying to watch because I feel like sometimes we forget how insane it is, and then it takes this show to come back and like remind us of like how fucking weird it is here. Like it is really weird. Like all the Christian nationalist stuff that's creeping in, it's really weird. And I'm looking at this and you kind of forget how weird it is. And then I was watching that show last night and going, this is so insane. My point being, it feels like there is this weird space where so many people are scared to push back against things, whether it's like 60-minute settling or like people not being scared to like say what they're saying. Both of you are on your own independent platforms where you can say what you say. I'm just curious if you could each speak, maybe you Taylor first, speak to how it is to actually like talk to the truth of what's going on here and how scary or not scary that is. I don't know.
Yeah, I have not left the country, so I've not been detained by Customs and Border Control like Hassan, thankfully. I mean, you mentioned South Park.
Detained by border control like a son. Oh my god. Like this guy came out of a fucking concentration camp because little bro fucking lied about his whole trip back into the United States. Kill me, dude.
I mean, I think that one thing that I love about America, probably the main and only thing I love about America, is our civil liberties and the way that people value free speech. And, you know, I'm so grateful to have built my own platform and be able to speak more freely outside of the mainstream media. But we're seeing this, like, just record kind of assault on free speech, whether it's the media, like free speech in terms of the news organizations, but also civil liberties and independent free speech online. And, you know, both the Democrats and the Republicans are aligned on censorship. They're manufacturing a moral panic around the internet and social media and, you know, telling people to support things like the Kids Online Safety Act, this horrible, horrible censorship bill. They're trying to repeal Section 230, which is a law that essentially protects speech online. So I think that, you know, we need to do everything we can to protect it, to even be able to have episodes like South Park, and for people like Hassan and me to be able to express ourselves freely as journalists still, you know, in this time.
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about something else that's kind of tangentially related to the South Park thing, because we were talking about that, like, I'm glad that, you know, the fail-ennials and the boomer liberals, they like, you know, Donald Trump has a tiny penis, it's cool, but like, I think in the real world, the normies are way more radical than the way that the media is presenting this like liberal style resistance right now. I see Deborah's and Barbara's like wine moms on Facebook being like, Hakeem Jeffries, you need to go out and die. You need to go out and put your body on the line. What the fuck are you doing? And it's like literally like a 50-year-old lady on Facebook with her government name. And we kind of saw a bit of that with in North Carolina, it wasn't Thomas Massey, Tom Tillis, where there were people like, I'm a 77-year-old veteran, and this is my name. My name is Hank Peckerson. I live on 1874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's on this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical now. This is a time, it's an unprecedented time to really get others on board, to explain to them that it's not your neighbors, it's not like a Guatemalan migrant that is responsible for all the shit that you're going through on a daily basis, not a trans person. I said this on Theo Vaughn's podcast as well. It's like a trans person is not your landlord, unless, I mean, we're in LA, maybe you guys got a trans landlord, I don't know, but for the most part, it's, you know, it's your landlord, it's your bosses that are fucking you over, it's capital owners that are fucking you over, and I think this is a unique opportunity to get even Deborah's and Barbara's on board with that, like white wine moms. And you actually wrote about this, and it was a great video where you talked about, you know, someone has to do it. See, when I say that, everyone knows exactly what I mean. Which is, I think that shows.
Like, this is so crazy. Like after 2 Jewish people were assassinated from some guy screaming "Free, free Palestine," 2 Democratic lawmakers were assassinated from some fucking crazy MAGA dude, and then now it's like, okay, well, the people we really need to be killing, guys, are the landlords and capital owners. Like, okay, bro.
On board with that, like white wine moms. And you actually wrote about this, and it was a great video where you talked about, you know, someone has to do it. See, when I say that, everyone knows exactly what I mean. Which is, I think that shows that there is a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, and untapped potential. Untapped revolutionary potential, as a matter of fact, and it's a great opportunity for organizing, I think, in these unprecedentedly horrible times. So that's what I think.
Clapper.
Is he mad about me?
Guy, if he was on my platform, it's actually, he's so fucking retarded.
Like, can't you should have to sit down. This would be you want the streamer Holocaust? You know what it would be? Here's how you, this is the streamer.
But I'm the one that gets in trouble.
Holocaust. You give him a book and you give him some paper and then.
What do you mean, but I'm the one that gets in trouble? I'm literally banned from your platform. What are you talking about? Is he really gonna victimize himself in front of me? Are you serious? What?
You give him a loaded gun and you say, here's your choice. 1 hour of reading every day or kill yourself. And 95% of streamers and YouTubers that cover the news would be dead in 2 days. It's unbelievable. Like, this stuff is out here everywhere. It's so easy to read. It's like, it's such a joke. And then instead we get Asmongold, okay, the fucking Roach King, to tell us with common sense about how it would be impossible to ever have any kind of interference in any kind of election. Because I guess Russia didn't have computers in 2013 when he said they didn't have the technology for it.
Yeah, everybody influences everybody's elections. That's never what was asserted. It's that
just read the indictments! Just read the, not everybody does everything! Oh my God. Okay, I don't care. Who linked me Asmongold shit? Okay, I don't know. What do we have for news today?
How do you think that the Supreme Court's ruling that benefited you on presidential immunity would apply to former President Barack Obama and what you're accusing?
Okay, I've seen hoax shit. We've gone through this. Trump is into Scotland to golf. Why? To golf, that's why. More plane interviews. Yes.
And we're going to do some great things. Do you have any questions? What? Yes. I'll be meeting with the EU on Sunday, and we'll be working on a deal. We'll see if we make a deal. Ursula will be here, highly respected woman, so we look forward to that. That'll be good. We'll have numerous executives that we're meeting with. We're going to be meeting with a lot of people. A lot of people will be staying at Turnberry, and then we're going to Aberdeen, which is the oil capital of Europe, actually.
Mr. President, can you explain what is missing in the UK deal that you have to work out?
Nothing. We I think it's more of a celebration than a workout. It's a great deal for both, and we're going to have a meeting on other things other than the deal. The deal is concluded.
Well, let's welcome Republican Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis. Great to see you. Fed renovations began 8 years ago. This building we're talking about was finished 5 years ago, but shouldn't it be included in the overall cost?
Absolutely. I mean, it's part of the cost. And the fact that Jerome Powell was trying to debate that with the president on live television, it was a very embarrassing moment for Powell. And I think it just shows that he is incompetent, that he doesn't know what's going on. And, you know, it's not the only thing that has driven up the cost. This may be driving up the cost of construction at the Federal Reserve, but he's driving up the cost of interest rates, the interest that the American taxpayers are paying on debt. It's about going to be about $1 trillion this year alone, the American taxpayer paying on the debt because he will not reduce those interest rates. And it has an impact on everyday Americans in terms of their credit cards.
Maybe you guys should have. I thought we were going to cut the budget. I thought that. Why are we still borrowing money? What if we just stopped borrowing money? I thought we were going to have no more budget deficits. So why does the Fed rates even matter? I thought Doge and everybody was going to find. You know what we should actually bring back in this country? You know what we should have? We should have chattel slavery for MAGA. If you said that Doge was going to save us, $2 trillion was the original estimate. We should be able to enslave every single family member of every single person who supported that budget indefinitely. Well, not indefinitely, until the $2 trillion of savings is paid back to the United States of America. So they would be housed in concentration/death camps. They would be brutally pushed around and forced to work daily until all of the debt is paid back to the United States. And then in however many hundreds of years it would take for their family members, their descendants, these people would be forcibly bred like cows. Okay, so they would have 15 kids. You could constantly have them. And they would be in the mines because that's what we want to bring back anyway, right? The coal mines and clean coal. And it would be clean coal because we would force half of their children to lick the coal clean before we burn it. All right. And then when they die, we put the bodies on the ground, good for the environment, all that shit. That's what we should do. And you know what? Then I would be, okay, there's our $2 trillion in savings. Thank you.
Their loans on cars, their mortgages. So it's past time. These interest rates, by the way, were set when we had a 9% inflation under Joe Biden. For whatever reason, Jerome Powell doesn't want to reduce that, and it's hurting everyday Americans.
Yeah, he had that look on his face that of someone who'd rather have a root canal at that moment. But let me move on to this. President Obama's former chair of the Global Development Council, economist Mohamed El-Arian, blasting Fed Chair Powell on Kudlow just moments ago. Listen to this.
But I've never called on him to resign until now. Why? Well, I've been critical because of his monetary policy mistakes, letting inflation go all the way up and being late in raising interest rates, supervision mistakes, communication mistakes.
Is this guy related to McConnell? What?
And the list goes on. But now, the longer he stays at the Fed, the more he threatens something that is very essential for our economic well-being, and that's the independence of the Fed.
So is Powell pretending here, Congresswoman? I mean, Trump has been very vocal in wanting him to resign or be fired. I feel like the president is backing off a little now, but what's your take?
Oh, I've said that it would be better off if he left for the reasons I mentioned before. I think he has it's what this gentleman just said. So obviously he's getting bipartisan criticism. But in addition to that, it's the impact that his refusal to lower the interest rates, which we think is past due, is having on the American taxpayer and the American consumer.
Like, you don't get to say that you should lower or raise the interest rates. Like, I like how we've just given up that whole thing and that we're having a serious conversation about this. Like, there's a reason why the Federal Reserve is independent from any political party or Congress or the executive branch. Like, I know that it really upsets Trump that he can't personally control every single part of the fucking government.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it? But bottom line, Congresswoman, this is just another example here of the Trump administration trying to cut costs. And even Jay Powell is trying to squirm his way out of the total cost of these renovations. And the fact that it's been done so transparently, I think, is another promise being kept by the president.
Absolutely right. The president is looking out for the hardworking, tax-paying American, once again, the small businesses that are looking for access to capital, the people, the consumers who are trying to purchase their first home or get a car for their family. Those are the people that are getting hurt by this guy. And the fact that he doesn't even know what the cost has been, the cost is of renovations in his own building that he has been, residing in terms of his office space for the last 8 years is really problematic.
It is indeed. We'll have to leave it there. But Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis, thank you so much, as always, for joining us. We do appreciate it.
Tim Heidecker fan. Who is this guy?
I liked your initial answer. I liked you said.
Wait, we've heard this guy's name before. Oh, Tim and Eric show? Is that what he's from? They have a podcast? Do they do politics now too? Why does everybody have to do? I don't even know actually. Sorry, I don't know.
Try to be that person, and I agree. I think you are honestly, sincerely a great example of a progressive, a progressively masculine man who lives his life in a way that is towards the betterment of society and embracing all genders.
He's been doing politics for 20 years? Oh, okay. Well.
And all that sort of good stuff. However, I did not, was not super fond of the second example that you gave.
Who?
The second example that you gave, which seems to be just the first thing you could think of, was Sean Piker.
Oh, okay.
So,
is he a bad guy? I don't really follow this stuff that closely. I thought he was a good guy.
I understand that, and that's what it seemed like from what I could tell. You obviously haven't kept up with him or anything like that. And I'm not here to give you a whole briefing on him or anything like that, or to preach to you about how he's not the best person to promote in that sort of way. But it is kind of a commonly known thing in the leftist space that he is very prone to misogyny, and he is kind of a person that is progressive and masculine, but not necessarily using their masculinity in a progressive way. So I kind of just wanted to
strike it from the record. Well, you know what's interesting is I'm doing a show with Hassan on Friday. Yeah. And I got someone in my DM saying you've alienated a bunch of us because of the Hassan thing.
Yeah.
Really, how bad? Let's do this. Do we have to have purity tests? Yeah, let's not eat our own. Let's not eat our own. I don't know why you did.
Doug, I want to say to you, I did see that you will be performing at an event that he's a speaker at. That's entirely different because you're just at the same event as him. It's not necessarily promotion of him.
What are we learning about these
alerts? And I think that's good and healthy, especially with it being a dialogue where he's a panelist and as opposed to somebody that will have no pushback in any sort of way.
Oh no, does Dan still have his Intel stock? Intel expected to lay off 24,000 employees this year to retreat from Germany, Poland, and Costa Rica.
Why? Tell me why. Every day I go out, looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening, and yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever! Oh my god, please. I'll take a fucking construction worker catcall at this point. Please.
Why do incels always fall for this bait? A lot of women told us to not approach in public or we would be called a creep. Society told us to stop. 100% of men that post this online are too much of an aspy autistic fucking loser to ever talk to a woman anyway. Why are you pretending like this is the one fucking thing that keeps you from going up to a woman and talking to her? This is like rage bait on rage bait. Please fucking stop. Oh my god. I'm imagining all the frat boys are at their college fraternity drinking beers and what'd you guys do? It's well, I had to stop hitting on women because they told us it would be creepy. Why are we pretending?
The pilot got in that Southwest flight.
Tom, this happened at 14,000 feet as the Southwest plane was climbing out of the Burbank airport headed for Las Vegas. A source with knowledge of the event says a Hawker Hunter, a vintage British fighter plane, came dangerously close to the Southwest plane, setting off collision warnings and forcing Southwest to take evasive action. Tonight, a pilot forced to make a dramatic dive mid-air to avoid a potential collision with another plane.
I've never felt anything like that. And I turned to the people that I was flying with, and I was like, I don't want to die.
Me neither.
I was terrified. I thought this was it. I thought this is how I go out.
It happened on Southwest Airlines Flight 1496 from Burbank, Southern Cal to Las Vegas. Southwest says its pilots got 2 TCAS alerts, terrain collision avoidance systems, serious warnings that they could soon collide with another plane and must change their flight path immediately. The pilots climbed, then descended, according to the airline. Steve Ulazwis was on board.
That there was this large drop. I want to say it lasted for 8 to 10 seconds. Just complete free fall, was like out of my seat, body out of my seat. People were screaming, just felt like pandemonium.
2 flight attendants are being treated for injuries. Ulazwitz says he saw one of them.
She looked disoriented. Her hair was kind of all of a mess. And they sat her down at the front and gave her an ice pack.
No passengers injured. The flight continued on to Vegas, where Southwest says it landed uneventfully. It's the latest close call in the skies. Just last weekend, this video from the North Dakota State Fair captured a Delta regional jet
they got the video of this.
and diving to avoid an Air Force B-52. And on Monday, an Aeromexico plane landing in Mexico City narrowly avoided a collision with a Delta flight cleared to take off from the same runway. Tonight, Ulazwitz says he's just happy he's safely on the ground.
Tom joins us again live. Tom, quite the moment when that plane landed in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's right. We're told the passengers all applauded the fact that they were on the ground safely. And
There's like half of... This is every flight going into Vegas, actually. Everybody fucking claps on these flights. I don't know why. Is Hassan the I am a cuck guy? Or is Tim... Does he have a joke? I don't even know. Okay. Well, just because I know this is going to be clipped a million fucking times. Pisco's changed this question like 15 times. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but... So the question initially to counterpoints was like, who should you try to appeal more? Like to the people that are more moderate left or to the far left tankies that want to rape and murder every single capitalist and every single person that wouldn't support their uniparty ideology? And for some reason, Pisco thinks it's better to support the rapist murderers than people that are just moderate left Dems. So the question transforms, now the answer to that is obvious, so then the question transforms to, oh, well, who would you rather vote for? Hassan Piker or Donald Trump? Which is like, that's not really related at all to the question that was posed before. But this tweet here was, LOL of people adding me with this clip in response to a thought experiment I ran with Counter Connor, which was essentially Trump or Hassan. Who do you pick? Who is a closer ally to the Dems? Notice how he changes. It's very strange too, because for a lawyer you would think that like the words matter, but they don't. He bounces between so many different words. Who is a closer ally? Who would you support? Who would you vote for? Who should you appeal to? Like it's constantly like switching the words here, depending on what he wants the argument to be, right? And of course, predictably, some people pick Trump/Croak/MAGA, revealing their unhinged derangement. That their main enemy is not Trump, it's Hassan Piker. So now it's like, well, who is a closer ally becomes, well, who is the main enemy? Okay. I say some because even as any subreddit, the left community that most despises Hassan shares that preference with me. So now if you express, but now this is saying like, who would you rather have as president, right? So this is a different question, and it's Charlie Kirk versus Hassan Piker, but this is a different question than like, who do you pick as a closer ally to the, like it's, but. So now if you express a preference for Hassan Piker over Donald Trump, now it's just a preference, I guess, okay, over Donald Trump, you endorse Hassan or want to be friends with Hassan or want to build bridges with Hassan. Absolute derangement, sorry to say. So I think I quote tweet this with like, Hassan just uses the Democrats to push for his ML beliefs, right? And he does. Hassan said this like a million times. It's not even like, this shouldn't be controversial at this point, right? So now the question is, Hassan or Trump, who are you voting for if you had to pick? So my interpretation is, who can be president and do stuff, I guess is how I'm interpreting this initially. So my response is, Trump at least has some vague notion of supporting America, however misguided it is. If he destroys the country, it would be a byproduct of his stupidity and narcissism. With Hassan, it would be by ideological design. He supports foreign terrorist groups, despises U.S. allies, supports historical revisionism to paint U.S. adversaries in a better light, has admitted that he would ban opposing political parties in the United States and would lock his enemies forever in re-education camps if they didn't agree with his political ideology. As a Marxist-Leninist, he would support the creation of a single vanguard party to violently enforce all of these changes. This is just what we know of Hassan's views publicly. We also know that he stated on shows that he hides his true beliefs so he can funnel people further down the radicalization pipeline. We've already survived 4 years of Trump. I'm not convinced we'd survive 4 years in a Hassan-styled regime. And then, because he likes to get like the clips or whatever, so then he says, so who would you vote for? So you would vote for Trump over Hassan, correct? And then my response is, I would vote for the guy who supported January 6th versus the guy who supported October 7th, yes. And then he says, we have an honest disagreement then. I would vote for Hassan over Trump. I see Trump and MAGA as a greater enemy than Hassan Piker. So then I say, well, that's because you don't think tankies are really that bad. And then he says, I hate tankies. I'm not socialist/communist, like you convince your audience. I never said he was socialist or communist. I just think he's way too tolerant of tankies. I just think fascist Trump is my bigger enemy. I'm not convinced Trump could turn this country into a Marxist hellhole if he wanted. So now we get like this very clever switch into, well, hold on. Are we talking about which regime we would support? Which is very obvious because at the end of my tweet, right, I literally say, we've already survived 4 years of Trump. I'm not convinced we'd survive 4 years in a Hassan-styled regime. But now we've switched to, I'm not convinced Hassan could turn this country into a Marxist hellhole if he wanted. I think Trump and MAGA are doing far more damage than good. Well, now it's become a pragmatic switch. Oh. So I say, you've morphed this into a fundamentally different type of question then. If you're simply asking who I would vote for if the election were tomorrow and the rest of the political system / country would remain the exact same, well then I'd vote for Hassan because he's too stupid and his ideas are too radical to get anything done in this country. But that's like asking if I'd vote for Trump versus Hitler. I'd heavily consider voting for Hitler over Trump because, despite how bad Trump is, I think Hitler's name alone would probably scare off the majority of the Republican Party from working with him. That's kind of a meaningless statement and misses the central point of the question. I don't think the point of Piso's question was who politically would be more effective in office. I think it was like who, like ideologically, if they could enforce their whole view, would you support? If we're just saying like what could somebody get done, well fine, I would just vote for the most unhinged person ever because then nobody I would vote for Satan, I guess, because I don't know if people are, it's hard to say with MAGA these days, right? And then he says, I don't think I've morphed anything. I'm saying gun to your head right now, Trump or Hassan. Like, notice again, like Trump or Hassan, what? Would you vote for them? Do you support them? Or would you have them in a country where they can like be a dictator and rule everything? Like we retreat back to the vagueness here when I clarify, oh, well, hold on. If you're just saying who can pragmatically get done with more, well, then I would change my vote. But now we go back to the vagueness, right? Back to the vagueness. And I guess I'm not sure what your answer is or when you'd support Trump in this context. It's very obvious when I would support Trump. I think I've laid it out in all of my answers, but he's not really responding to almost anything I'm saying. It's why they're like one-sentence responses and basically avoiding engaging with almost anything I've said so far. I'm obviously taking for granted the political system of the USA. I also think Hassan is more aligned with you and Dems than fucking Trump. I don't know how you would ever measure this in any way, size, shape, or form, right? Like, let's say that I believe that murder is bad. Am I more aligned with somebody who thinks that shooting people in the head randomly is awesome? Or am I more aligned with somebody who likes to guillotine people randomly? I don't know what the answer to that is. I'm not sure. Hassan and Trump are both anti-liberal people. Hassan more so ideologically than Trump because Trump is just fucking retarded and doesn't even know what liberalism is. But Hassan is ideologically opposed to my political system. Right? I don't know if Pisco remembers, but like the whole Cold War was like liberalism and capitalism versus whatever the fuck Marxist-Leninist shit the Soviet Union is. Now, all the MLs will say it wasn't real. I don't even know what they fucking say about it at this point. I'm not sure. Basically, I think the answer is overdetermined when we're talking about Trump. So now I try to get clarity here. Support or vote for? You keep changing the question. There are tons of implications in each of these terms. I would vote for Hassan because I know he has zero chance of winning. But again, that kind of misses the point of the question. In what world is Hassan more aligned with me than Trump? Hassan is fundamentally anti-capitalist. He's anti-liberal. He's anti-USA. He's anti-intervention in probably all scenarios. He thinks the US is probably one of the most evil countries on the planet, and he's pro-monoparty through violent enforcement. 4 question marks. Okay, for crystal clarity, vote in an outcome determinative fashion, i.e., who are you actually picking? In your perfect world, who is winning? That's what the question is trying to suss out. And again, he's missing the point.
winning, do you mean winning the election and then having an authoritarian dictatorship? Or do you mean winning the election with everything left as is and then they can't do anything? Again, I don't understand how he keeps missing like the point of everything that, like something is not clicking or connecting in here. And I don't know if it's because he's so emotionally dug into his position and he realized like it's kind of like bankrupt and now he is like trying to like run around. I don't understand how you can miss it so hard. That is the question. That is what the question is trying to suss out. This is not something being sussed out. This is just a point blank, one-dimensional, retarded question. There is nothing sussed out in who would you vote for if they could win the election. The question is like, do you think that, like, if they could enact their perfect policy agenda, whose agenda would you more agree with? That's what you're trying to suss out, right? There's like the underlying concept. Political alignment, can answer that by getting ready for a debate. I think he's going on Tim Pool or whatever. But so, yeah, but he never responds with, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that were these tweets. I'm like 95% sure that Pisco will be on shows later saying like, Destiny said he would rather vote for Hitler than Hassan, or Destiny wants Trump instead of Hassan because he doesn't like socialists or something. And then it'll be, you guys are just unhinged and you're mad because I'm not unhinged about Hassan or something, basically, yeah. I think the issue is no one's clocking on the business. Like when people say, because the answer is you prefer fascism to socialism, when they say this and they smile, right? What they mean is fascism is the Nazi party and socialism is Sweden. That's what they mean when they say, I hope you guys know this. If you disagree with me, also, I perm ban you. I don't allow any of this shit in my community anymore, okay? This is not a socialist or communist utopia. I need you to understand this, that if you are truly like a socialist, like worker sees the means of productions, I view you the exact fucking way I view a fucking Nazi, okay? 100%, you were the exact same to me, all right? If I had two of you and one gun and one bullet, all right, I would smash your fucking heads together and aim right down the fucking middle, all right? Maybe a little bit more to the side, depending on which one of you I hated more, personally. It's clear you are both not thinking about the same question, but I don't know if he's just not understanding. I mean, my points are pretty obvious. But I think like if I'm like I feel like I'm expanding a lot here, but then it's just a one sentence response. So like I think if I'm expanding on my point quite a bit, and then it's always like a one sentence response or something that just seems to be missing the point of what I'm saying. I don't think my actually who said that? Hold on. You're banned for a day. No, it's stop doing this. Stop giving cover like when people are just being intentionally retarded. You're doing it. You're doing it right now. Please stop. It's pretty fucking obvious. It's pretty obvious what's being said here. Okay, and then the onus is on the other person to clarify if they're having trouble understanding. If somebody says, "Is your favorite color red or blue?" and you're like, "Do you mean like political parties or like which one makes me feel better?" or what? And the guy's like, "Red or blue?" and you're like, "I don't know. I guess blue." And the guy's like, "So you hate red?" And you're like, "Well, when you say hate red, hold on. Do you mean like would I ever like choose to wear this color, would I ever do this?" Or and he's like, "Would you ban red or blue?" It's like, I don't know. And you're like, "Well, I think that there's just a miscommunication between the two parties." Actually just fucking end yourself. You're so fucking stupid. Oh. Man, what a world we live in today. What else is going on? Oh, you know what we have? We have our guy. Let's just finish.
And I've chosen to live every day since then. And I really do mean it. I'm in a better place inside than I've ever been in my life because of that. If that,
yeah,
I don't know if it makes sense, but
makes perfect sense to me. So you mean to say, you know, when those headlines first broke, the emotional impact was so strong that you felt like, for one, if you would have relapsed, you would have gone down a hole that you never would have been able to dig out of. And because you were able to survive, and also because overexposure has kind of whittled down your sensitivity to certain headlines, pictures, and buzzwords, that you're now stronger and able to face things with less fear.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, what happened to me is literally their worst nightmare, particularly if you've ever suffered, you know, from addiction. Mm-hmm. Imagine having every most embarrassing moment of your life, or I mean, some that aren't even embarrassing, but just private. Literally, not just published once in your local newspaper, or you know, in a magazine article that went away, but by everyone over and over and over again, constantly, and then add on top of it, and then add on top of it, and so that everything that you do is a whether it's positive or completely neutral to move on with your life is reframed to fit their narrative. So like, take the painting, for instance.
Well, yeah, to clarify, you had an art show pretty much in the midst of all this controversy. I remember, like, I was trying to cover it, I think, back in the day, but it was almost impossible to get press because I emailed the gallery where you had the show, like, the day before. But I remember that thinking to myself, that's cool that he's putting himself out there. Didn't realize that it had also been spun into the laptop web.
Well, by the way, not only spun into that, but what it ended up happening is that the gallery got attacked, literally physically attacked. Someone came into the gallery, assaulted two of the people that worked there, spray painted the walls. They set up a protest, like, for weeks on end in front of the gallery. They doxed the gallery owner. They doxed the people that was known that purchased the paper. They got subpoenaed. My gallery owner had to spend close to $500,000 to defend himself before Congress. I came to the conclusion that one of the reasons that I didn't choose a life that is as an artist.
Wait, holy shit. What the fuck is this? Wait, what the fuck? What were these guys doing? We had access to the recent VShojo pitch deck, and some of the stuff is really interesting. $20 to 30 employees, like full time. Hold on. StarCraft 2. Wow, experienced executive team. How many people were on VShojo? Was it 15 or? Ten talent managers. 10 talent managers? They say dedicated staff. Does that mean like W-2? Like full-time employment? What do they have? One manager per, or like one manager for every 2 talent? What the fuck? Just want to clarify, some people with permission from this individual himself who was DMing, the staff were not involved in this pitch deck. The person was completely used by VShojo, and he's truly innocent. Okay. Milestones. We're #1 outside of Japan. Wow. Bilingual team. Exploring game licensing and other IP opportunities. Do they, are there VTubers that are licensed to video games? Has that happened? They had Smite skins. I wonder what the ownership or licensing deal like that is like, considering that the agency doesn't own the IP from the VTuber talent. Plan to expand from 12 to 30 to 40 talents. They really had one. They really had one, like, talent manager per talent. What? Financial projections, October 2024 forecast. So sponsorship revenue and merch revenue was 3.6 mil, other revenue 3. Okay, so their total revenue was $3.6 million. COGS is, what is COGS? Cost of general, what does COGS stand for? It's cost of something. I think it was in here earlier. Goods and services. Cost of goods sold. Cost of goods and hold on. Why do people give me different answers? Cost of goods sold. Is $3.2 million. What the fuck? What were they to do? What? Wait, is this wait, cost of goods sold. Is this the money that they had to spend to sell, to make this money, basically, right? This is an expenditure, right? Like, this is a revenue, and then revenue less COGS is going to be. Wait, what was this money spent on? What is this? What is this? Talent manager cost in COGS scales with talent growth, while corporate team comp remains fixed, targeting 20% OpEx reduction through ongoing Wait, what? And then salary and payroll is a separate line item for what? For management? Or for what the fuck? The corporate team, 1.9 billion. Wait, how are they spending so much money? It's virtual shit. They're not even real people. What? Operating income, $2.4 million loss. Moderate 2025 projection, 1.8 million lost. And if they do aggressively well in 2025, then they'll only lose $300,000. I don't understand how they can. What are they spending all their money on? Cost of goods sold. I'm so curious what this was. Were their talent managers getting paid like $300,000 a year each or something, or what? Little dance animation I did for a V shoujo job. They probably shouldn't have paid me $950K to animate this if they were low on cash. There's no way they paid $950K just for this. This is either like part of like a hour-long thing, or it's in some weird like crypto thing or whatever. Yeah. Expect to achieve 4.8 million revenue in 2025 from sponsorships and merch segments. New IP license could bring additional 2.3 million. Gross margin improvement is driven by higher take rates and updated talent contracts. Higher take rate means what? Greater split to company for income, like going from like a 1585 to like a 2080 contract. Is that what they mean by higher take rate? Talent manager costs and COGS scales with talent growth, while corporate team comp remains fixed, targeting 20% OpEx reduction through ongoing optimization. How are they planning on cutting their corporate team pay? Or they're just gonna start firing people? What? Jesus. The V Shoujo merch-driven business model never made much sense. It stuck out as being unreasonably different from the arrangements with other corps. Merch can bring solid revenue, but thin margins, and is lumpy cash flow in this industry. Really? I feel like merch, I feel like it's the exact opposite. I could be so uninformed here. But I thought that like merch and toys and shit, like I thought in the anime world, I thought these were your huge margin items. And is lumpy cash flow in this industry. They would have to have barely any headcount or just be running losses continuously. Guess we know what the plan was, to just lose money forever because the model doesn't. What is the, I just don't understand. But also I truly don't understand because I don't know what all these agencies did. But if you were to tell me that there were 15 VTubers who were being managed by people and you had to pay for all of the management for that, like, what are you even doing that you're spending this much money? I'm so confused. And just your company alone is making $3.6 million in revenue. I'm sure some of this COGS, this is the merch revenue, right? So the profit from that merchandise was probably, I guess we'll just say like 10% or whatever. So maybe the revenue is only like 2.3 mil or 2.2 mil or something. But even so, $2.2 million to manage 15 VTubers. What? I'm just so fucking confused. What were they doing? How do they have 10? What were these guys doing? Wait. 10 talent managers. What were these guys doing? Are VTuber salaries included in COGS? No, it shouldn't be. I don't believe so. They were doing shit like $1 million ad campaigns, which failed miserably. That's one thing I know. Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy too. Jesus. It's so weird to me. I mean, I guess it's a little bit outside of my area, I guess. But like when I think of like streaming and YouTube stuff, this is some of the lowest cost to entry revenue generation you can ever do, right? Like I'm sitting at my home right now. Like the investment is like a fucking computer and a microphone and a camera. And then it's just you're printing money at that point in exchange for time. And I feel like to like be super unprofitable on that, you have to fuck up a lot. Skipped a 40-minute challenge what they wanted in contract for revenue, etc. Yeah, but this isn't gonna tell us like what they were spending the money on, though, right?
Like at this stage of the contract, when I call them red flags, it is more so. I've been dealing with contracts for a while at this point in my career. Lots of contracts are, I hate this word so much, standard contracts. So things you can negotiate. You can negotiate, right? My biggest contract was the revenue share. I did not like how their revenue splits with merchandise and similar things. I'm not gonna go through the whole list like in detail. It is literally like a 2-page fucking doc, bro. But they wanted too much revenue share, way too much. Like that was absolutely not it. And the money they offered me in exchange for taking this much of my revenue was just not even when she's saying 2 pages, I don't think she means like the whole contract was 2 pages. I think she means they had 2 pages of just different things that they wanted rev shares on. That's how I read what she just said. There's no way that this agency was sending out 2-page contracts. It doesn't sound like it. That was an insult. It was an insult. The money they said they would provide me with each month for stuff like concerts, models, assets, commissions, whatever, it was an insult. With how much they take, it's an insult. I also didn't like how they kept calling 50-50 splits that was a genuine red flag because they kept calling 50-50 splits the
Industry standard?
What was that word? Industry standard.
I feel like industry standard are most like talent related stuff. If you're really preferential, it'll be 10% maybe. But otherwise, I think it's generally like 15. And then when you get north of like 2025, you're in some like SCAMAZ territory for at least for like in-demand talent. Although maybe the norms have changed since I've seen any of these contracts.
Any corporate that hires you and always puts emphasis on industry standard, run. Run. First of all, 50-50 is not the industry standard. It is not. Absolutely not. No. It should be much closer to, and like some people get it as low as 20%, 15 or 10. 50-50 is abysmal. Also, third-party deals was also the biggest red flag. They wanted 5% on third-party deals. I wanted them to negotiate it down to 0. If you don't know what third-party deals are, third-party deals is stuff that...
Oh shit, when they say third-party deals, they mean stuff that they're not even responsible for negotiating. Right? Why would they get any of that money?
That they have nothing to do with.
Yeah.
It's me
Jesus.
doing stuff. Me, mine. If Mythic brings me an offer, they want 5% on top of Mythic's. Like, what? Nah, so I was like, negotiate this down to 0. One thing that wasn't a
I'm literally in Discord, you retard.
red flag at first, I also told them, stay the fuck away from gamer subs. Stay the fuck away. Literally, stay the fuck away. And at first they were like, sure, fair. But then they tried to be dodgy about it and they were like, for the time being, yes, until we renegotiate the contract. I was like, no, stay the fuck away. No renegotiation. And their excuse for this was, as part of VShojo and part of the brand name, part of the income and opportunities that come my way are due to VShojo in my name. And I said, no, all of these things are stuff I did myself. You don't touch it. So yeah, the biggest red flags were, one of them was they refused to go down to 0% third-party deal fees. Again, third-party means Mythic gets me a sponsor and VShojo isn't touching it. I get myself something, I don't want VShojo to fucking touch it. And they couldn't let go of that. They just couldn't. I said if you have involvement, if you're involved in any of these and help out, you can have maximum 5% based on involvement. But if there's no involvement, it's 0, and they refused. Probably the by far biggest red flag, I say this now, but maybe later on I will get reminded of something else. The by far biggest red flag. The two, sorry, that kind of intertwined.
Hey, Steven, hello?
All right, what's up? What do you want?
Wait, let me put you in my ears. Hold up. Okay, so 2 things. Wait, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, 1. So you had to go to like a dermatologist and stuff recently for like some boring hair issues, correct? You just fart? Well, hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, you had to go to a doctor for hair issues recently, right?
Sure, what's up? What's your question?
Could I have you look at something and like tell me if you think it's like whatever you had, or maybe
yeah, I'm a doctor. Sure, send me a picture. Yeah.
So can I just like show you over camera right now?
Sure.
Okay. Are you looking at your camera? Squeeze, can you hold the camera for me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
It's like a ringworm, alopecia.
We're trying to figure out. So I did a consultation with like an Amazon.
Wait,
like,
there's no way this is real.
No, it's I'm dead ass. It's real. Okay, so some of it's a design, right? But this right here, this is real. This is not a design. Like, look at this. This is it. And then this stuff right over here. This stuff right here is not real. This is not real. I'm not doing a meme for you right here.
Can I show them this? This is the original one.
Okay, show them the original one. Show them the original image. Before the designs came. So can you zoom in?
It's literally, it's like a blown out white image. I can't see anything in the back of that head.
Yeah, I know. Can you like zoom into it? Look at the camera, retard.
It's zoomed. It's the light, dude.
So zoom into on the phone.
I see it on the bottom left. Yeah. Okay, what about it?
Okay. Okay, what do you think that is? Like, or did you have anything like that?
You're
Some people
cancer.
are
It's
saying
cancer.
like,
You're dead.
okay, you're joking for no reason. You could actually help for once.
I don't know.
Did you,
Go to a dermatologist and ask. No.
Dude, it takes like 8 days. I need to get stuff done now.
Hair-related stuff is always going to take a lot of fucking time anyway. So.
I know. Someone said it's tinea capitis. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I'm looking into that, but I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what to do. But okay, all right. Well, you can't help there. Let's move on to the next thing.
If it's like, I think I could be wrong on this, but I think if it's an alopecia related thing, they'll put like a little zoom scope on it or whatever, and they'll be able to tell if there's like inflammation down there, which is some kind of like autoimmune bullshit, and then they'll know for sure. But otherwise, I can't look. Just looking, I don't know. There's probably a million things that can cause random things of hair to fall out that I would know nothing about. But if it starts falling out in more places, then you'll know for sure. Oh, that's it. So there you go.
Did you take it? Did you take any minoxidil?
No, I tried the stuff that you can smear on it for a little bit, but I got bored of that, and I just figured if it grows back, it does. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So, but you can do topical, and there might be other treatments that you can do as well. Just depends on how much you. Yeah. Oh, you can get like steroid shots too if you wanted to do that, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see if I need to get steroid shots. Someone told me side effects might be crazy on that.
No, they aren't. That's whoever said that is fucking retarded.
Okay, it's actually this one guy that really likes Nico, so I didn't really take it too seriously. Anyway, okay. The other thing as well is I'm going to go to the thing on Houston. So you don't. I don't have to buy a ticket for that, right? Like I could just show up like as a special guest, like.
Yeah, and hang out outside. Yeah.
Well, no, like inside, like I don't need to like buy the ticket to go inside, right? Like you can like hook me
Why
up,
would I do that?
I'm like pressed these days. Come on.
Other people would want free tickets then, right?
We can look into it. I mean, like. I'm kind of like I'm like a one-man show, but I mean like I do have a camera crew and like stuff, so that'd be good if we got like a group with them tickets.
You should try to like you guys could sneak in. I bet maybe.
I mean, we could try to sneak in at the first, but like do you maybe if I say like, oh, I'm with you'd probably say like yeah.
No, but you could lie and say that. Maybe they'll let you in.
Okay, do you have like can I use a picture of me and you together as proof of that?
It's up to you, dude. It's all about your choice.
It is up to me, but I need like your consent.
Well, no, the whole point of sneaking in is to do it without my consent, right? Isn't that the kind of the point?
Well, yeah, I'm sneaking in, but I'm using your name to sneak in, and I just need to know that when it happens, I don't listen. I have a lot of legal stuff going on right now, and if I start saying things that could get me legally in trouble, it might be a whole thing.
Okay, but if I allow you to do this, then at that point I might as well just allow you to get free tickets. No? Why don't you do a fundraiser on your stream for him?
Well, why don't you just do that? It's not that. It's like they're like $5, I think, right? Well,
No, it's like $30.
It's how much?
Like $30 for a ticket.
It's $30 a ticket.
Yeah.
Oh my
for
god.
you to just talk. Is it just you to talk?
It's even more to debate. It's like $40 to debate.
It's $40 a debate.
Something like that. It's
40.
more to debate. I know the debate tickets are more expensive.
Yeah, but you're not debating me, so that doesn't matter, right?
I might. I have a lot of opinions lately that have changed on a lot of things. Yes.
Okay.
So I might just fucking cook
He's a
your ass
Trumper.
publicly. And I actually do have a guy that wants to debate you, but he's a big Trumper, big Sneeko fan, big
Hates Kamala.
big hates Kamala guy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll look into that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Well, thank you for, looking out for me for those tickets, man.
Yeah,
I'll
for sure,
definitely
dude.
try that out. See how it goes.
Good luck. Have fun. Be careful.
Thank you. Bye.
By far biggest red flag was I asked them to sign a non-compete based on gut feeling and hunches I may have had from rumors that have made their rounds. I asked them to sign a non-compete between them and Mythic. Let me explain what this means. A non-compete means that if Mythic gives me sponsors. So what Mythic is, so Mythic Talents, I'm part of Mythic Talents, which is the same as UTA in other places. They give you sponsors. VTuber's talents have also been part of mostly UTA. Long story short, what they do is they read my inbox, they pass on the sponsors, they negotiate sponsors for me. They give me sponsors. I asked VTuber to sign, to add or sign a non-compete clause in the contract. What are sponsors? It's when a game pays you to play the game. So I was like, sign a non-compete, because if Mythic gives me a sponsor, let's just keep math really simple, right? If Mythic gives me a sponsor and says they'll pay you $100 if you play this game for
the Mythic sponsor is probably going to be a lot more favorable in terms of the split and everything than what VShojo would have.
I don't want VShojo to be legally able to go behind my back and contact the sponsor and say, she'll do it for 80, just so VShojo will then give the sponsor to me and they will be able to take the cut. I want them to non-compete, so they can't do that. So VShojo can't go to the sponsor and be like, no, she'll do it for this much, just so they can give me the sponsor and they get their cut. I don't want that. Mythic got me the sponsor first. I want you to non-compete that you can't fuck over me and or Mythic. I want a non-compete. Very standard thing. Very standard thing. They didn't want to sign that. They said, when I brought this up, I have proof of everything, by the way, and before anyone tries to pull some weird sneaky shit or we should try some weird sneaky shit, I have proof of everything. I have proof of everything, okay? Everything. The whole 2 hours of the first one and whatever of the next following meetings. I prove everything. Anyways, I got all the receipts. Hours of receipts. Anyways, they then tried to argue when I asked about
I don't understand. So my assumption would have been that, like, not to be mean, but that VShojo and all that just exists for basically retards who don't know how to manage any of their own shit or don't know how to do any business stuff or whatever. But this person sounds like they know way more about average business stuff than the average retarded fucking YouTuber or streamer. So what was she joining VShojo for? I just don't understand what they're even offering her.
Non-compete. They were like, hey, we operate on a trust basis, and I was like, don't give a shit. Don't care. It's a contract. There is no trust in a contract.
Yeah.
There is no trust basis. I know people like, there is no trust. There is no we don't operate on jack shit except for the black on fucking white on this fucking contract. Trust basis.
True.
The second red flag was in this beautiful first interview where the very beautiful person in the very beginning, where they presented everything of what VShojo can and will do for me, I asked straight up, because the contract had none of that in there. Not one thing, except for the parts I want money off, not one of those things was part of it. The only thing part of it was the money they offer me a year and something else. I forgot about what it was, but there were two things. But there was just, again, money, transactional money.
Oh, they were paying flat fees per year as well to talent? Okay. So some of that might be included in the cost of goods sold as well. Maybe.
Things that they had to put in there. So not one thing that they offer me as a service was in there. So I simply asked, put them in a contract. Everything you offer, put it in a contract. Needlessly to say, that part never happened. And that is literally making a deal with the fucking devil, because if all of these things are things you promise, there is absolutely no reason to not have them in a contract. These are things you promise. You swore, that's your whole selling point. But when I ask you to put it on paper in the contract that you want me to sign, you refuse. No. No. The only thing, apart from all the negative, the only thing that was positive in this whole thing was when I asked VShojo if I can reach out to the other talents, because they're trying to hire me. They're trying to make me sign with the company. I said I want to reach out to the other girls and make sure they want me there. First of all, I want to make sure they're aware I'm being recruited.
Are verbal contracts a thing in the US? Yeah. They're found, I think, right after pinky promises and right before I swear.
Younger age, because I didn't have the courage to do it.
Well, like you were kind of scared to put yourself out there, and it's not like traditionally.
Yeah, exactly. So I took a different route, and I went to law school, and I became a professor, and I opened up a law firm, and and by the way, I think I did all of those things pretty successfully. But when it became the only thing that I could do to not sink into absolute and complete despair was to fall back on the thing that I love to do the most, was to paint. That's what I painted. And then somebody came by just by happenstance one day, who was at a gallery in New York, literally a friend of a friend. He said, "You should do a show." And I said, "I would love to do a show." And then I was scared to death when I did it. In the first show that I had in LA, I didn't offer anything for sale. I just did the show. It wasn't even for sale. And immediately it became this thing that, I realized that, that also gave me a gift, which is this. I said, I don't give a shit. I paint every day.
Big Mac with fry, 1999. Are we getting VTuber Destiny back? Ask your mom. Got him.
Okay. And I paint for the people that I love. I paint for myself. And one day I'll have another show. But I really don't give a shit what the fucking New York Post or James Comer of Kentucky, the chairman of the Oversight Committee, thinks about my fucking painting. Or what anybody really thinks, for that matter. I guess the whole point of even talking about it is that it wasn't just the fact that they, of the investigations, congressional, the DOJ, all of it. It wasn't just the constant from like the Murdoch, media empire and all of the ancillary organizations around it. In the New York Times,
Wait, did Comer actually say a thing about these? Oh my God. Oh no.
I reserve, yes.
Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, every time the chairman Schiff rises to speak on a bill about intelligence and security and holding the president accountable, I get excited hoping that we're going to hear about that evidence of collusion and all the other investigations that were conducted in this House over the past year. I'll yield back, absolutely.
Gentleman yield? Will the gentleman yield?
Yes, yield.
Well, let me ask the gentleman, are you aware, just by way of illustration, that the president's campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, secretly...
I don't know why I talk about Roger Stone. I should just be talking about Manafort. Unbelievable. What an unbelievable connection. What an unbelievable connection. That Paul Manafort, who was, I believe, the chair of Trump's campaign, I think he just said it, was secretly working with Russia to undermine a Ukrainian candidate for president, or a Ukrainian, I think, current president, was doing this and was lying to the United States the entire time of the millions of dollars he was receiving a payment for this, was like the fucking chair of Trump's entire election staff. Again, imagine anything even remotely close to the Democrats having this connection.
By way of illustration, that the president's campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, secretly met with an agent of Russian intelligence and provided Russian intelligence with...
Also, stop. Careful. Now, you just heard him say secretly met. Now, I know that in your mind, because you're so used to listening to the MAGA brain rot, that you're thinking oh, secretly. Okay. So they think this happened. No. When he says secretly, he means what came out after indictment, after investigation, indictment, and conviction is what we know. It was a secret. Not a secret like when Republicans are just making shit up magically. But a secret as in, this is what he was trying to hide. It's what investigators found. It's what they got a grand jury to indict on. And it's what they secured convictions on. Okay, just to be clear on that.
Internal agent of Russian intelligence and provided Russian intelligence with internal campaign polling data, as well as strategic insights about their strategy in key battleground states. Are you aware of that?
I think everyone's aware of every bit of information that you all have tried to peddle over the past 4 years.
Let me ask you, are you aware that while the...
Was he convicted at this point? December 9th, 2021. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ask, was he convicted at this point? What I should have been asking is, had he been pardoned by Donald Trump yet at this point? My bad. Okay. Pardoned in December 2020 for his federal crimes. Good job.
Gentlemen, Trump campaign chairman was providing internal polling data that Kremlin intelligence was leading a clandestine social media campaign to elect Donald Trump. Are you aware of that?
I think we see every day. Facebook just announced that Russia was trying to do a Facebook campaign in Ukraine, if I remember reading that correctly. Mr. Schiff,
would you like me to go on?
To a question from me?
Would you like me to go on?
What would you yield to a question?
Well, I'm asking you, would you like me to, you asked me to present you with some of the information?
No, I think it's great. Are you aware of President Biden's son Hunter's art dealings? Are you aware of the president's son's dealings with in Congo with the cobalt mine? Are you aware of the dealings in Ukraine?
To get to the gentleman's question, I am aware of President Trump's son meeting secretly in Trump Tower in New York with a Russian delegation, with the purpose of receiving dirt on Hillary Clinton, which the Russian delegation represented, was part of the Russian government's effort to help elect Donald Trump in 2016. And I'm aware that Donald Trump Jr., said in response to that Russian offer of dirt on Donald Trump's opponent that he would love it, suggested the best timing would be in late summer, and had a secret meeting in Trump Tower. And when asked about that secret meeting, both the president and his son lied about it. Are you aware about those facts?
I think that everyone's seen all the information, again, that you all have peddled. I'm curious if you would like to take a wager on which president's child, which president's son, at the end of the day, once we have the gavel, will be the most security risk to our nation.
So I'm happy to continue to outline the contacts between the Trump campaign and Russia, their solicitation of Russian help in the election, the former president's effort to coerce Ukraine into helping him cheat in an election. I would happy to go chapter and verse if you would like me to use your time that way. Right now, though, the subject of this amendment is to allow the General Accounting Office, the GAO, to help Congress oversee aspects of the intelligence community. But if you're more interested,
I reclaim my time. The
gentleman has reclaimed his time.
They've spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of tax dollars on trying to peddle a lot of wrongdoing in the previous administration. This bill is all about the previous administration. Every speaker on their side of the aisle has mentioned Donald Trump's name numerous times. Every speaker. It's time for the majority party to focus on governing and get over their obsession with Donald Trump.
Govern they did. This was in December 9th, 2021. What a time. What a time to be alive. Oh. Thoughts, reasonable bill or fucked? Hiding all blue check marks. I was in the hospital for 3 days due to jaundice and had 3 ultrasounds done that didn't even help with my diagnosis. Why is he saying an ultrasound didn't help with the diagnosis? Because it didn't show what, like, I'm sorry. And that's pretty much it. There's another $300 bill I have to pay that's for the medication I received. I don't know how anti-Semites found this post, but no, I do not hate Jews. And yes, I dislike the Israeli government and what they're doing in Palestine. What does that have to do with anything? Your genetic disposition doesn't give you the right to leech off taxpayers. What? What am I even supposed to feel about this? Okay.
First,
this is going to be retarded. And I'm here for it.
First, distract target. Then block his blind jab. Counter with cross to left cheek. Discombobulate. Dazed, he'll attempt wild haymaker. Employ elbow block. And body shot. Block feral left. Weaken right jaw. Now fracture. Break cracked ribs. Traumatize solar plexus. Dislocate jaw entirely. Heel kick to diaphragm. In summary, 1 trillion in waste eliminated. Optimus rollout. Productivity boost. Federal debt curve reversed.
Let's get this party started.
Okay, this is retarded. Oh. Okay, listen, I love you guys. I need my brain. Listen. We need to recover. I'm gonna go find some positivity. I'm gonna go find some puppies and flowers. Oh, I love you all so much. Okay. Oh, we'll do our dailies. Yeah, I just need to listen to. I think I need to take a politics break for 5 days and just do fucking reading or some bullshit. Because holy fuck, everything is so stupid. Luke, Trek, Bottle, War, Star Stuff, Anise, Sarah, Kelly, Sage, March, Hunter, Mace, Hike, P, Dill, Trent. Nope. Okay. A Trek, nice bait. A Trek, a March, a Hike. A Dill, a Tramp. Can you take a Tramp? I've never heard that. Oh, like Trample maybe? Are these like fucking scents of like candles? Not even clock, I don't know. I have no idea what any of these are. Nope. Dill, pickles, pea pods. Are these like women's names? That's not it. I have no idea. I don't know. Kill me. Get me out of here. What is it? Herbs and spices. Okay, I have no clue. Shades of green. Kelly P. Hunter Green. Bottle Green. I don't think I've heard of a single one of these before. Okay, I guess I'm green retarded. Okay. Starts of European capitals. Oh, I actually thought this because of... Oh, I don't know why I thought of Copenhagen. It was because of one of these other words. I don't even know why. Luxembourg, Copenhagen, Warsaw, and Sarajevo. Oh my God. Capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's not even a real place.